All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back for the recap video for today. I hope you guys did well on Friday. Hope you guys got green in today's market. There was a little bit of more action today than the rest of the week. This was probably the hottest day. However, there were a lot of traps today, especially on SNTG. This thing was like a roller coaster. This thing opens up, it pops, it drops into a halt down, halts up, opens higher, dips back down another dollar a share, and then rips up $1.50 a share, and then comes right back down another $1.50 a share, pops back up, and then starts to fade. So SNTG was a wild one, and I thought I thought momentum was coming back for SNTG. I saw volume, and I saw momentum, and I thought SNTG had a chance to break out of 6. So my entry here, actually before I do that, I'm gonna finish down here $316. Definitely a bigger size loss than my previous winners the past 2 weeks, which is quite unfortunate. I am sort of on I was on like an 8-day green streak going into today, and doing great, and dropped off about 40% off the high. That seems to be the theme in my trading recently. Has just been small gains, small gains, small gains, small gains, and then I try to go for it, and I just get caught in one trade, huge flush, huge loss. It's not that like I'm taking small losses to a big loss. It's just one trade that just destroys my day, destroys my week. Even last month, the beginning of last month, I had a great day on the first day of the month, and then later in the week, just one trade, $900 loss. And that is the type of trades that really bring down my momentum as far as my green streaks. My green streaks give me lots of momentum and confidence, and then it just takes that one. I go for it, and I get caught in like a outlier flush and take a 10% loss. And that's sort of what happened today on SNTG, which I will show you the video of my trades. Not too happy about it. I definitely found myself adding a little bit too high, but I thought there was decent momentum for this to actually make a pretty big move and break out and run. So I think the opportunity was there. It could have broken out, and the fact that it just double topped and rejected, it just happened to be that the flush was much more bigger than I thought. It did pull back before the huge flush at 550, but I wanted to give it room because I didn't want to stop out at the low just to watch it curl back up and break out. So I was really thinking that this was a hotter market than it was. Even though we did get some opportunity, it's still sort of a cold market because there was no support. Dip buyers on SNTG got destroyed, I'm sure. If you bought a dip here, if you tried to buy a dip here, tried to buy the dip here, they didn't really hold up much as far as support and continuation. Then later we had PKBO, and this was the type of move that I was looking for in SNTG. And by the time this curled up, I was already beyond max loss. So I was already down over $300 on the day, and I was like, this, if I keep trading like I've done this before, and that's how I have really bad days, is if I'm at my max loss and I keep trading. That's usually how I get those near $1,000 losing days, which I've had twice. Almost just shy of a 1K loss day. And those are really devastating mentally and emotionally. So just to be a $300 loss, there have been times in the past where I can make that in one trade or a few trades or one day. It's just a matter of when that type of momentum is going to come back around again. If I look at my calendar, like I haven't had a decent green day in a long time. I mean, I had a $200 day on Wednesday, but before that, I didn't have any. I mean, my last big decent green day was on the first day of October, so that was over a month ago of $700 in profit. Before that, I had another $300 day in September, and that was it. So, and then it wasn't until in August I had a nice streak of a $300 day. Right after that was a $200 day. Right after that was a $400, and then another $400 day. We haven't really seen, I haven't really had the opportunity for me to, I haven't really seen, opportunity for me to be pulling numbers like that again. It just seems so risky for me to be trading that sort of size. And I thought today would be, a different like market, not really like a colder market, because we had some action pre-market and we had some more volume at the open, a lot of action, but nothing, it just didn't work out in my favor. I went for it, I thought it looked good, happened to not work out, and I happened to get caught in an outlier flush, which, it happens. I can't expect it not to happen again. It's going to happen again, and it's going to happen 2 years from now, and I'm going to be trading 10 times the shares, and I'm going to take the loss 10 times the loss. So, that's never going to go away. And it's just, learning in these early years of trading, just learning to grapple with the emotions, because it can get so bad. And I know how it feels, just taking a big loss, and just before your eyes can even blink, like you're down hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. Like I know, well, I haven't lost thousands of dollars in a blink, but eventually I will, I'm sure, when I trade that share size. But I know what it feels like to lose hundreds of dollars before you can even blink. And I know you guys have gone through that sort of experience. Not many people do. Only the people who decide to start trading, um, experience something like that. So I know there's not a lot of people that you can relate to other than other traders. So I encourage you guys, if you are going through any sort of big drawdown, a big loss that's like making you want to give up, making you like emotionally just unstable, or not thinking right, definitely reach out. I can totally relate with you. I can relate with you right now. Like I've experienced the emotion today. Like I was about, like I felt like I was about to just I felt like I wanted to quit. For a couple seconds, like you feel like you want to quit, and then you start to like come back to your senses, and there's just lots of feelings of regret, and what if I did this, or I should have known, or I should have did this, and like that just thought process, like it doesn't really resolve in any alleviation of the emotion. It kind of just adds to it. So it's really sort of like a psychological um, tug of war of how you're looking at it, like your perspective. And you always have to come out the other end with a positive perspective, and thinking like these types of experiences are going to teach me to become profitable in the long term. It's going to teach me that, well, I have a profitable strategy because I can take a loss like this and come back from it. 2, I can exercise my discipline to not keep trading after a loss like this, even though I'm emotionally triggered. And 3, it can teach me to stay in for the long run, to bounce back from the failure and learn resiliency. Maybe other areas in your life where this sort of stuff would happen, or you take have a big setback, it just mentally have a big setback, or just in results wise you thought you were better than you were, and then you finally realize that, wow, I just took a huge loss, I was very overconfident, and you know, back to reality, and like you feel like you want to quit. You know, this sort of setback teaches you, you know, that if you can come back the next day, or if you can just double down on your efforts to learn and have more successes even after a big setback, it teaches your mind that, you know, even though you had one setback, it's not the end, and you can always, you know, you can always get better. Your only opportunity right now is just to do your best every day, but that is not all you can do. And in the future, like, if you just keep putting in effort and effort, your best is going to get, you know, better and better. So if you guys are struggling with any sort of, you know, emotions with loss, or you're in a big drawdown and your mind can't take it anymore, just, I do encourage you to reach out. The link to the Discord is in the description, so you can join the Discord and get in contact with me, because, you know, I know how it feels, and, you know, it's nice to know that you can chat with somebody anytime to kind of have somebody to talk you out of any sort of you know, negative thought patterns, or, you know, thoughts of giving up, or trying to just, you know, get even more aggressive and double down and try to make it back in one day. So that's what I wanted to say there. And so right now I'm just going to go through the recap, the review video of the day.
Maya, come.
So actually, I'm going to open it up with the other program. I like the other program.
Maya, come.
So here, I did go for duo. This is another trade I took. I thought this would potentially retest the highs. And then it just kind of broke through VWAP and I cut it. So there was down 57. So we kind of halt down, resume, and then we start recovering here. And I take a couple scalps. You know, I'm not really quite sure if this is going to rip. For a breakthrough 5, this is where I go in for the breakthrough 5. Small size, out at 505. Now we get into a halt. And resume. I do take a trade on the resumption. Take a small loss there. So as you can see, I'm not really quite sure what's happening, and then it just goes there, and then I get back in higher, and I realize I'm chasing, so I got to take out small gains, and then it just keeps going. I couldn't really get in the rhythm. I felt like I really couldn't get in the rhythm on this. So there I try to buy a dip, but I'm in 900 shares, so that's a pretty big position. 900 shares. I don't even get filled at the low there. I just chase it kind of higher. Then I start taking my 10 cents. And then it does go lower. I bet some longs got destroyed on that. But then we do curl back up. And this is where it gets, you know, I'm in 25 shares at 23, so that was a really good entry, but I only got partial fill. 25 shares, that's nothing. So then I'm already feeling like, oh, I should have been in bigger. I should be at more. And then there it goes, kick in the FOMO. And so at this point, so let's resume this. And then I add here on the, and then I take it off. And then it goes, and then it starts to really take off. And this is when I'm like, oh, this is it. This is going to be the one. This is going to be the outlier move of the past 3 or 4 weeks. This is going to be the one that really just blows shorts out of the water. And here, at this point, everything is out of the window. I just see this going right up to 6. It's a really strong green candle. And I just spam the buy button, which is, I mean, I wasn't even in that big share size. My biggest was 500 shares, so that's only $3,000 position size at this point. But man, like, my average is right at the high. 70 cents off the 9 EMA. So somebody was selling here as I was buying. We tried breaking it once, and then we tried one more time. I'm like, I'm waiting for that break of 6. Like, I'm waiting for an explosive move right here. Like, I thought it looked great. So I cut like 2/3 of my position there, or 1/3 of my position there at 80s. So I'm in 325. It's not even that big of a position size. And I'm waiting for like the next candle, like someone just to scoop this up and just rip this through 6. Like I really thought this is a good setup. You know, now that I'm looking at it, and then there it goes, there. And then it just starts falling through. I really thought there was more bigger support here at 550. So let's watch. I want to see the exact fall through on the tape. My average is really high. My average is so high, all the way up here. So that was kind of due to fear of missing out. You know, it's broke. I didn't want it to break out without me. Now here I was trapped 30 cents underwater. And then I cut it at the break, some of it at 550, and then it falls through. Man, I thought this would really rip. I thought this would rip. Ooh. Oof, I just wish I would have sold everything there. Ooh. And then I just get stuck in the hole. I'm trying to get out. I'm hitting the panic button. I'm down $290. The good thing is I only lost $20 after the unhaul, because I went from 290 to down to 316. So I only lost like 25 bucks. So we're in the halt down. This looks exactly like that other stock that I took a loss on. What was that? This one? I think it was this one. Similar to Kit. Similar to Kit. All right, so the unhaul. So what do I do here on the unhaul? So the unhaul and 507, and we got a quick pop there. I say I'm cutting it at 512, all out 512, and then immediately it just drops 20 cents. So pretty good exit, I guess, all things considered, without factoring in I was holding from 594, 595, But, you know, with the position I was in, you know, I just needed to get out. So this is pretty much the greed index and then fear index. 3 minutes to go up, 2 minutes to go down. So fear and greed, fear and greed. And that was it. And after that, PKBO started popping up, and I just didn't allow myself to trade it. I maxed myself out. Didn't want to trade it. So I mean, to give opportunity, who would have known if I did trade this? Who would have known what had happened? But I just wasn't in the right headspace. So let's take a look at the running P&L. So yeah, so pretty much just a straight drop off. And that seems to be in most of my red days is just a straight drop off. And straight drop off. Well, you know, this one was a smaller red day. But it seems like all of my red days, if I have a red day, it's like just one trade that just ruins it. So it's not like my strategy doesn't work. That does work. It's just trying to avoid these just halts down, these flushes, lack of support, lack of buyers. And I think it's just a symptom of this cold market. You know, I mean, it was hotter today, but, you know, not really seeing the type of momentum that really is like holds up and then gives like another leg, you know, like a strong consolidation with 2 million shares traded per 1 minute candle. Even peak PKBO, I would say, you know, we only had 4 minutes of high volume, 5 minutes of high volume. And it was only 200 to 300,000 shares. So it's not even like crazy high. The rest was all like 20,000, 50,000 shares. Was a higher price stock though, but still. What else? We had Duo. So, you know, what can you do? I mean, what can you do? I try my best every day. It's the only thing I can ask for. And, you know, I try to work with what I got. And, you know, some days I'm going to, you know, get kicked in the balls. I'm going to get kicked in the balls like this guy over here.
Earlier in Johnson. Oh, my goodness. Earlier in Johnson. Oh, my goodness.
Right here.
You know.
So that was me today. Hope you guys were green today. But that's it. Wrapping it up. See you guys next week. And if you're still watching, hit the thumbs up button. Also subscribe. Check out the links in the description, and I'll see you next week. Fresh Monday morning for the live stream pre-market. So looking forward to next week and gonna enjoy my weekend. All right, peace.